Okay. So, I have to say that this has gone through like a transformation in the last like 45 seconds. Like when we first sat down, I smelled it and it smelled like, you said mothballs. I just thought it smelled like sort of like rancid tea kind of thing. It's just like what it smelled like. But as I sat here and smelled it and tasted it again and again, it immediately opened up, it changed. At first I was sort of like shocked by that sort of sweet, toasty oak thing, but then that seemingly went away and it's gotten more attractive in the last few moments. I get this really weird licorice finish on the palate right now, but it's like creamy, toasty. It all sort of feels like secondary aromas when you smell it. It's got some weight to it, but it's I don't know, like I'm like coming around. I also like sweet wine, so I can't help myself.
Smells like cocoa butter. Smells like the beach.
Or the strip club. So in turn, but this is like, it's got some acid. It's just this sort of like, kind of like friendly, toasty wine. And Dylan was saying like Rhone varieties, like white Rhone, like Marsanne Roussanne. It's not overdone if it's those, because the alcohol's in check and there's actually some acid. So I don't know if I totally agree, but it like makes sense, because what else has that like weird oily thing going on? Tannins also. It is a wine that you could probably have with a lot of different foods. It's like aromatic, it's kind of sweet. You could do like, you know, that's the kind, you know, this is like the Indian food wine without being too spicy, because it like plays into that, or even Thai because it's kind of sweet. Yeah,
sushi anywhere. Sushi, like, you know, I thought of this like that, like Bosan had like the big pork shoulder with all the lettuce wraps and all the different pickled vegetables and all that kind of stuff on there. Really good.
Malibu rum. It smells like.
Malibu rum.
Yeah,
Malibu
it smells like tanning lotion.
It does smell like tanning lotion. Yeah.
That is not
Marshmallows and licorice.
It smells good though.
Smells like a good time.
Yeah.
Smells like a party on the beach.
I get some popcorn out of it too, like buttery popcorn.
Yeah.
There's some wood on it too, I believe. I think there's definitely some oak on very
The movie
tertiary
butter,
that you
isn't
can
it?
smell, man.
Cocoa.
I just literally thought it was terrible when I first smelled it too. So I think that maybe I'm like won over on that aspect also, is just the simple fact that it went from, well, I was kidding about him searing stuff, and it went from like something that smelled horrible to something that was relatively instantaneously good.
I think it tastes better than
It smells.
the aroma. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't have very much aroma,
No,
so,
it
so you have to go straight to the taste.
It's a little burnt too. It's like smoky, like burnt popcorn or something.
A lot of oak.
I
I get a lot of oak on them.
Yeah, it's definitely oak.
I don't like wines that are both that try to be dry and sweet at the same time. I think this wine is in a no man's land between those two things. I actively dislike this wine. I mean, everybody else likes it. I'm sure it's quite saleable, but
I just didn't poison the room with my attitude problem.
No, I'm the new Jesse. I'm the old Jesse. So, I think the first wine was much more consistent between texture and flavor than this wine was. So I just went back and retasted.
I mean, it's not consistent. I agree with you on that. Like, it is all over the place.
You know?
Slotty
Should
she
be a
is.
good wine for Kuma Inn. Though. If
Okay.
you just ordered a bunch of different things at Kuma, this would go really well with a lot of those things.
It's total versality
Yeah.
white wine. Like
You
it's,
could do like a tasting.
Well, or
menu.
the other way to look at it is saying you can get up a whole bunch of foods that will make you just forget the wine, other than it's an alcoholic beverage to accompany the food.
What did you say last week? Cougar juice?
Bum.
no, I
Is that
never
you?
would have said that. That would have been the old wine pimp.
Maybe it wasn't it.
Acid's not up to the thickness of the wine.
It's got some though. It's not like.
No, it has some.
I just think if it's what he's suggesting, if it's Rhone varieties, they get so high in alcohol so quickly, and like they just like taste really
Could
sloppy.
be a Chardonnay too. They
I
usually
think
don't
it's
put a lot of oak on those rum varietals.
Seems really aromatic for sure.
Or just really high quality oak.
I think it's Chardonnay.
Me
I
too.
don't know what. I don't know what it is.
So I don't think
The
it's
tannins
that-
and the oiliness is the only thing that leads me away from something normal.
It's Oriole Chardonnay. It's the
It's
best
a
bottle of
confusing
Oriole
one.
Chardonnay.
It reminded me, I said,
Damaged Oriole
the
Chardonnay.
Vermont, the Hildegard.
I thought there were certain comparisons to it, especially I get more of, no one brought up like this, like there's this semi like cinnamon-esque tone to the wine. I also think it's longer than a lot of us have talked about, and I think there's complexity there. And maybe that's inconsistency in the grape varietal, which you're bringing up. The wine doesn't know what it is, but there's like, I mean,
The wine has a finish. I mean, a wine can have a long finish that you like or that you don't like. I agree, there's finish here. Look, I don't like this wine, so
Some Cinquenon.
yeah, I've never really liked it either.
I don't know what this wine is trying to be. If it's trying to be what it is, then the person maker needs.
Do you think there's any age on it? That's what I started to think. I thought it was.
Color doesn't show it,
No,
no.
it doesn't look like an old wine. Could be a couple of years.
Price
No,
point?
what is it?
Price.
25.
I think it's more.
It's got to be more.
I think it's 40.
I'm going like 32.
Putting down 25 would be great.
CC Chardonnay.
I think $34.
Oh, you're back to your $34, famous $34 price.
I don't jump up to 30.
Anyone
32
else?
to
Megan?
34.
Price?
I said 36. I think it's got expensive oak on it.
It does have expensive oak.
Are we ready to look?
We are ready?
Is this number 2? Does anybody bother to mark these things?
Yep.
Where's the 2?
I have unreadable ink.
Well,
Like the
then-
U.S. Mint.
Well, then how do we know this is not the third one? Because it's in the second position.
That is number 2.
Okay. It's not in the Chardonnay bottle, but then it's
Heavily wrapped.
Jesus Christ.
It's a
It's the freaking Vineyard from. Oh, this is your boy.
Sauvignon Blanc
This is Vineyard
from
29.
Vineyard 29.
Oh, this is like that what?
I like
So this is
that.
like $85.
It's like, I think it's the most expensive Napa Sauvignon Blanc, and I think you guys were right on,
Like honey.
is that it's a, super oaked Sauvignon Blanc.
Is
and
it really
shows
from
that.
St. Helena?
It's like $130, I
Who
think.
grows Sauvignon Blanc on the mountain?
Oh man, I was at the coolest winery I've ever been to, Arkenstone.
It's a
it was
total,
on Mountain, like, seriously,
total
straight
mailing
there
list wine.
At the top of Hound Mountain, they do small production, like old oak Sauvignon Blanc. They have this 2006 Sauvignon Blanc. Arguably, I'll say it's the best white wine I've had from California.
I think it's actually a kind of a good representation of what it is, if you're going to make that style of wine.
So this is interesting. Like I tasted with the New Zealand guy. That Sauvignon Blanc we had. That he had made steel barriques. So it was like small steel barrels that basically allowed for a ton of lees contact with his Semillon or Sauvignon Blanc, and it kind of tasted like this.
This is a late harvest wine, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It really does have residual sugar. I mean, it's almost like a Spätlese made from Sauvignon Blanc. You said it's
But they beat it with
$130.
oak,
It's
too.
over
And they
$100.
beat it with oak. But
Look
that was the
at
difference.
the
Is
tar traits at the
this
bottom of
guy's
this
wine
bottle.
wasn't
Wow.
without. It didn't have that toasty quality.
Okay.
It actually had like it had like richness that was
It's not
really
cold stabilized.
bizarre. That was from
We
these
don't cold stabilize it,
teeny
we don't do
steel barrels that they were allowing for all this.
Maybe they were doing that
There's
concrete
a-
or something different.
No, he
Wine
actually
eggs or something.
he blew.
I bet when that
his
warms
eggs
up,
also, he blew small steel
That'll
barrels.
be
Okay.
a wild
Like they
wine.
were-
I mean, I think it's a wine that if you can afford to spend a lot of money, it's interesting.
I mean, but
Well-
imagine going to a restaurant and spending $320
On
on
a
that.
Sauvignon Blanc from California?
What the fuck?
Right. That's
There's-
it,
there's
to me,
no market for
that's
it.
California in a bottle, though. I mean, right?
Well,
$130.
There's no market for it.
Yeah, that's.
Except for the
certain
mailing
si-
list or somebody that's
Certain
got.
side of California, that's
Yeah.
what it is.
Is that
What's the
distributed?
production
Where
on
did it
this?
come from?
There's a friend of mine
So it probably says on the
whose
back.
buddy owns the vineyard. Or
I would think that
something.
it's
Yeah.
only from.
Yeah, it's
you know,
mailing
friends,
list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't say.
Well, it's fun to try.
The 29
It's nice
thing
you
has to
put
do
that
with
in there.
29 hectares or 29
I was
acres.
interested in trying.
What's the production like? 300
But it
cases?
doesn't say.
wine,
I think
I
that's
just
what it
never
was
get
like.
Sauvignon.
But you would think it would say.
They have two different designates. They have, if it says 29, it's a state
State
fruit.
fruit.
If it says whatever.
Crew. It's,
Right.
it's,
Or crew.
no, it says
Crew.
crew.
Right.
Yeah, there's
One of,
another-
yeah.
yeah, there's
The
another.
crew is
So
like.
that's the other piece. Is like they're acting. You can't actually tell how much wine they're making. It might be a ton of wine at an absurd price.
No, I think because that would eventually be found out, and they couldn't get away with the price. I don't think they could be making a ton of. It's not that hard to find
It's
out.
just, you don't really taste Sauvignon Blanc with that much new oak put on it. It's almost
That's
like
why I thought
it's
it
an
was so
anomaly.
interesting. We
You know,
so rarely taste
Yeah.
new oaked Sauvignon Blancs that it's.
yeah. It's in a
I
class,
think
a
it's
whole
time
other
for
world.
Winopedia,
hated
where
this.
we reveal
No, I
how
just was
much is
confused
actually
because I knew it was
produced
too
in
aromatic for
these
Chardonnay, but with all that to it, I
Okay.
had no idea.
All right, let's go to the